Now coming to the sixth question, consider the following statements with reference to Ease of Living Index 2018 released recently. First statement, the index was launched by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Now such things, ministries and what they have launched, the schemes, reports, indices, you must make a separate chart or a note and you must revise it again and again, and especially before your examination, because such questions will always figure in your exam. The second statement is the ease of living framework comprised 5 pillars, namely physical, which is your infrastructure, institutional, that is governance, social, education or health, economy and population, which are further broken down into 78 indicators across 15 categories. Which of the statements given above are wrong? You have to note this, wrong. ये भी चीज पे आपको ध्यान देना है in the exam when the question is asking for correct statements and when the question is asking for incorrect statement. Is this clear? Now let us go to the explanation. The statement 1, first of all the answer is A. ठीक है, answer is A. Answer A मतलब one only, that is which of the following statements are wrong, यानी कि first statement is wrong. ठीक है. The answer here is statement 1 is correct. The ease of living index is a transformative index. See, the answer for this is given wrong, I suppose. The answer should be B. ठीक है ना, यहाँ पे there is a mistake. The answer will be B and not A. So kindly make this correction. The statement 1 is correct. The ease of living index is a transformative initiative of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, ठीक है, to help the cities assess their livability vis-a-vis national and global benchmarks. ठीक है. See, what is this ease of living index basically? Ease of living. Now, as the name suggests, the ease of living index will assess what? It will assess the livability, ठीक है ना, livability of the cities, है ना, compared to your national and global benchmarks. ठीक है. It basically provides or assists the cities in giving them a 360-degree assessment. ठीक है, all round assessment of their strengths, weakness, what are the opportunities that particular city has and the threat the city is facing. ठीक है. Now who releases this ease of living index? It is released by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Further, this ease of living index, it comprises of 4 pillars, not 5. The statement second here said that the ease of living index comprises of 5 pillars and therefore the statement is wrong and hence the answer will be B. So ease of living index में you have 4 pillars. First is your physical. ठीक है, इसका weightage कितना है? This has been given the highest weightage of 45. Then you have the second pillar which is your institutional. Institutional मतलब governance. Physical का मतलब क्या है? The infrastructure. Now governance has been given a weightage of 25. Governance का मतलब क्या हुआ? The way the services are being provided to by the government to the citizens of that particular city. The third pillar is your social. Social क्या हो गया? Health, education. ठीक है ना? Again the weightage is 25. The least weightage has been given to economy, which is 5. So 45, 25, 25 is 50, 45 plus 5, 50. Total comes out 100. यानी कि all the cities were evaluated out of 100. You have 4 pillars, namely physical, institutional, social and economy. Moreover, the index covers how many cities? It covers 111 cities. ठीक है? So this is the crux about ease of living index. Now again to reiterate, you must note down or you must make a separate chart or summary sheet for ministries and the various schemes that have been launched by the ministries or reports or indices, etc. ठीक है? These questions will appear in your UPSC and they'll carry around 6 to 10 marks at least. ठीक है. Now let us move on to the 7th question. Which of the following terms was not there in the original? Not there. Again, you must focus on this. Not there in the original text of the preamble. ठीक है. Now we all know the preamble was amended. The preamble was amended by what? It was amended by the 42nd amendment. And what did the 42nd amendment do to the preamble? It added 3 words, right? It added 3 words. What were they? They were socialist, secular, and integrity. These are the 3 words that were added to the preamble by the 42nd amendment of India. Okay? This amendment was carried out in 1976. Okay? And 42nd constitutional amendment is also called as the mini constitution. Okay? It is also called as the mini constitution. Therefore, the answer to this question will be integrity. This term was not there in the original text of the preamble. Now let us move on. Moving on to the 8th question. Which of the following are the impacts of sea level rise? Decline of coastal wetlands, salt water intrusion into the groundwater. Third, damages to the coastal infrastructure. And fourth is your ocean acidification. Now choose the correct answer from the given codes. 1 and 3. These are the options that have been provided. See, let us go to the explanation. The answer first of all is B. Okay? First, second and third statements are correct. The fourth statement is wrong. Ocean acidification. See, how do you attempt this question? Which of the following are the impacts of sea level rise? Sea level rise does not contribute to ocean acidification. This is caused by your air pollution. The primary role in ocean acidification is of nitrous and sulfur oxides or dioxides which are present in the atmosphere due to pollution. Okay? This is what leads to ocean acidification and not your sea level rise. So fourth option D could automatically be attempted. Okay? Sea level rise will cause damage to the coastal infrastructure. True. Therefore third. Second, again, salt water intrusion into groundwater. It does lead to salt water intrusion into groundwater because of sea level rise. Further, decline of coastal wetlands. This is an obvious impact of sea level rise because the coastlines will be impacted. Okay, now let us go to the explanation to learn in detail. First of all, why should we worry about sea level rise? Okay, let us first of all understand why should we worry. Because the coastline has for long served as a very important ground for industry, agriculture and fisheries, right? And lots of communities depend on the coastline for their fisheries and agriculture. In fact, fisheries forms the livelihood for lots of people across the world. Now sea level rise has been happening for last few decades due to thermal expansion of the oceans, right? Thermal expansion of the oceans. This is because of global warming. Thermal का मतलब क्या होता है? It means basically heat. The global warming is causing thermal expansion of the oceans, and also there has been melting of ice glaciers. This is adding to your sea level rise, right? So इसके वजह से your coastline is getting impacted, which can impact or which can damage the livelihoods of lots of people. ठीक है? Thus sea level rise is a cause of worry. Now the statements 1, 2 and 3 are correct. Sea level rise. What are the immediate effects of sea level rise? It includes salt water intrusion of surface. See, what happens is when your sea level rises, the salt front, the salt front, there's something called salt front. What is a salt front? It is basically the line between your freshwater zone and your sea water. ठीक है ना? तो this salt water zone, fresh water कहाँ पे होता है? It is basically in rivers. Sea water is salty and unfit for drinking. So more rivers basically form द सोर्स फॉर ड्रिंकिंग वाटर फॉर मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल। इसलिए जो सॉल्ट फ्रंट है, जब सी लेवल राइज करेगा, दिस सॉल्ट फ्रंट विल शिफ्ट हियर अपस्ट्रीम। इसके वजह से क्या होगा, देयर विल बी अ लैक ऑफ ड्रिंकिंग वाटर। वाटर यूटिलिटी जो होती है वो आपकी डिक्रीज कर जाएगी फॉर द पीपल लिविंग ऑन द कोस्ट, राइट। इसलिए सी लेवल राइज लीड्स टू योर salt water intrusion of surface waters, increasingly severe storm surges, submergence and increased flooding of coastal land. What are the longer term effects of sea level rise? It is increased erosion, salt water intrusion into groundwater, and a decline of coastal wetlands, salt marshes, mangroves, etc. Now, statement 4 is incorrect. Ocean acidification, which results in reduced coral growth, ठीक है ना? It results in coral growth and coral skeleton weakening, which will have impacts on coastal protection and marine biodiversity. It has other reasons such as adverse pollution and mixing of various chemicals. As we had discussed before, ocean acidification is caused by what? It is caused by atmospheric pollution, and sea level rise is not a cause for ocean acidification. I hope this is clear. Moving on to the ninth question. Consider the following statements with reference to your earthquake waves. S waves are shear waves which move particles perpendicularly to their direction of propagation. First statement. The second statement. The shadow zone of P waves is much larger than that of S waves. Third statement, the change in densities greatly varies the wave velocity. ठीक है? Which of the above statements are correct? Now let us analyze this question first. ठीक है ना? First क्या है? The first statement is S waves. S waves are shear waves which move particles perpendicularly. Now to understand this question, let us first understand what are earthquake waves. ठीक है? What are your earthquake waves? Now earthquake waves are also called as seismic waves. Seismic earthquake से deal करते हुए चीजों को seismic या seismology कहा जाता है. ठीक है? Now these are divided into two types. You have body waves which travel throughout the body of the earth. ठीक है ना? ये पूरे body of the earth के through travel करेंगे. ठीक है? And second you have your surface waves. ठीक है? Surface waves क्या होता है? ये only surface पे ही travel करते हैं. Now body waves are further categorized into two types. You have your P waves. These are compressional waves. ठीक है ना? And you have the S waves. S waves are what? These are transverse waves. ठीक है ना? Surface waves are further categorized into love waves and Rayleigh waves. ठीक है? अब क्या होता है? See, what is the direction of propagation? कैसे travel करते हैं ये? ठीक है? There are certain differences primary. जो आपका P wave होता है, we have already discussed, these are compressional waves. ठीक है ना? How do they travel? Suppose this is your entire P wave. तो P wave में कैसे travel होगा? It travels through compression. पहले यहाँ पे compression होगी and then rarefaction again expansion होगा इसका. ठीक है? That is, first there will be compression. तो यहाँ पे compress हुआ and then it will go on to expansion. यानी कि ये चीज यहाँ जाएगी and यहाँ पे. तो इस टाइप से like an earthworm. If you have seen an earthworm, इस टाइप से इनका propagation होता है. Whereas what are S waves? Now this is in the horizontal plane itself. ठीक है ना? ये ऊपर नीचे नहीं है. But S waves में क्या होता है? S waves का traveling is something like this. You have, ये आपके S waves होते हैं इस टाइप से. यानी कि this is the direction of motion, but particle motion कहाँ पे है? ऊपर नीचे. ठीक है ना? ये नीचे जाएगा, फिर ऊपर आएगा, फिर नीचे, फिर ऊपर, फिर नीचे, फिर ऊपर. तो what is the direction of motion? It is perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the entire wave. So this is what the first statement is saying. So what we have seen is P waves में, when P waves are traveling, the particle travels. First there will be compression and then there will be rarefaction. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? The particles are traveling along the path of propagation of the wave. Whereas in case of your S waves or secondary waves or your transverse waves, द ट्रांसवर्स का मतलब ही होता है कि परपेंडिकुलर डायरेक्शन ऑफ प्रोपगेशन, द पार्टिकल्स मूव अप एंड डाउन, ठीक है, अप जाएगा डाउन जाएगा। तो दिस इज योर फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट, एस वेव्स आर shear waves, they move perpendicularly to the direction of propagation. Second statement, the shadow zone of P waves is much larger than that of S waves. The first statement is correct, ठीक है, so we can eliminate which option? B option. Second, the shadow zone of P waves is much larger than that of S waves. See, now, there is a primary difference between P waves and S waves. First of all, this is your earth, ठीक है ना? On top you have the crust, then you have a mantle. This is your crust. Then you have the second layer, which is your mantle. इसके बाद you have your core, which is divided into two parts. You have the outer core and then you have your inner core, ठीक है? Now inner core is solid, but the outer core is what? Liquid. Now there is a primary difference that P waves, ठीक है, जो P waves हैं आपकी, these can travel through both solids as well as your liquids, whereas the S waves, these can travel only through solids. So what happens is, when an earthquake occurs at some point, it will start generating waves. It will generate both P waves as well as S waves. What will happen is, when the S goes here, ठीक है, तो it won't be able to cross this. Why? Because ये liquid है, it won't be able to pass. तो जो S wave है, इसका जिस portion पे it won't be able to reach the earth, that is this portion. This portion will become your shadow zone for S wave. Let us draw a much clearer diagram. This is your inner core. We'll draw only the inner core. This is the point, ठीक है ना? ये inner core जो है, sorry, the outer core. This is liquid. तो यहाँ पे आपका earthquake has taken place. Waves will generate P waves as well as S waves. The S waves won't be able to travel this, ठीक है ना? तो what happens is, इसके साइड से निकल के जाएगा. So this portion, ये वाला जो पूरा portion है, this will become your shadow zone for S waves, ठीक है? While the P waves, they will be able to travel through this portion, ठीक है ना? They will be able to travel through. तो इनका क्या होगा? P waves का जो shadow zone है, that will be smaller than your shadow zone of S wave. However, यहाँ पे what is the second statement saying? The shadow zone of P waves is much larger than that of S waves. Hence, this second statement is wrong. Now, whenever you get a wrong statement, go and look at the options. सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट कहाँ पे है? फर्स्ट ऑप्शन में, तो दिस कैन बी एलिमिनेटेड. बी में एंड डी में. सिंस ऑल दी ऑप्शंस आर एलिमिनेटेड, we are left with only C, and hence C will be the correct answer. And यहाँ पे if you look at it, C is the correct answer. Change in densities greatly varies the wave velocity. We have already seen solid से liquid में आपका density change हो ही रहा है. S waves will not be able to travel through your liquids. Therefore, density does impact the wave velocity further. ठीक है? Statement 1 is correct. S waves are shear waves. Now let us look at the explanation brief. S waves are shear waves, moves the particles perpendicularly. They can propagate through solid rocks. ठीक है? Shear strength as a zone between 100. Now see, statement 2 is incorrect. The zone between 105 degrees and 145 degrees from the epicenter identified as shadow zone for both. The entire zone beyond 105 does not receive S waves. The shadow zone of S wave is much larger than P waves. Is this clear? Change in densities. ठीक है? So now let us move on to the next question. The 10th question. Consider the following statements. Asthenosphere. ठीक है? Asthenosphere is the main source of magma that finds its way to the surface during volcanic eruptions. While the mantle is completely in liquid state but highly viscous. Mantle isn't completely in liquid state but highly viscous. Gutenberg discontinuity lies between the outer and inner core. Which of the above statements are correct? ठीक है? Now let us look at each statement one by one. Now looking at the first statement, asthenosphere. What is asthenosphere? See, the entire structure of earth, you have what portions? ये आपका earth है suppose, ठीक है ना? तो जो सबसे ऊपर का लेयर होता है, दिस इज योर क्रस्ट, राइट? देन यू हैव द मैंटल, and then you have your outer core, which is liquid, and then you have the inner core, right? Now the uppermost mantle, ठीक है, the uppermost mantle along with your crust, this is called your lithosphere. Lithosphere comprises of what? You have the lithosphere, which comprises of the crust plus the uppermost portion of your mantle, ठीक है? Now the layer just below your lithosphere is called your asthenosphere, ठीक है? What does asthenosphere mean? See, asthenosphere में जो asthen वाला portion है, this is a Greek word which automatically means weak. Now this is a ductile and deforming region. It is believed to be more fluid and liquid as compared to your lithosphere. And this asthenosphere is considered to be the source of magma, ठीक है? Which erupts from your volcanoes as lava, ठीक है? So the first statement is asthenosphere is the main source of magma that finds its way to the surface during volcanic. Hence, this first statement is correct. So whichever option does not have the first statement can be marked wrong. So यहाँ पे जो B option है, it does not have the first, hence it can be marked wrong. Now let us come to the second statement. The mantle is completely in liquid state but highly viscous. ठीक है, it is completely. Now see, only among the four main layers, the crust, mantle, the outer core and the inner core, only the inner core, the outer core is in liquid state. All the other are in solid state. Therefore the second statement is absolutely wrong, ठीक है ना? Second statement wrong है. तो जिस option में you have the second statement, that will be wrong. Hence we can eliminate D option as well. Now coming to the third, Gutenberg discontinuity. Now Gutenberg discontinuity lies between the outer and the inner core. Now see, there are various discontinuities between the various layers of earth. Let us draw a diagram and understand what are the various discontinuities. This is your diagram of the earth. You have the crust at the top, you have the mantle, then you have the outer core, and then you have your inner core, ठीक है? Now जो आपका, let us mark the layers first. This is your crust, this is your mantle, this is your outer core, and this is your inner core, ठीक है? Now the discontinuity between your crust and mantle, ठीक है, this portion, this is called as your Mohr-Wick discontinuity, ठीक है? The discontinuity between the mantle and the outer core, which is this is called as your Gutenberg discontinuity, ठीक है? एंड जो आपका आउटर कोर और इनर कोर के बीच में डिसकंटिन्यूटी है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज योर लीमन डिसकंटिन्यूटी, ठीक है? देयरफॉर आपका हमने क्या देखा, जो आउटर कोर जो क्रस्ट एंड मैंटल के बीच में डिसकंटिन्यूटी है, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज योर Mohr-Wick discontinuity, or you can simply remember it by Mohr discontinuity. That between your mantle and the outer core, this is called as your Gutenberg discontinuity. Whereas that between the outer core and the inner core, this is called as what? This is called as your Lehman discontinuities. These two are the primary discontinuities that you need to remember for exam. यहाँ पे क्या बोल रहा है? The third statement is saying the Gutenberg discontinuity is between outer and inner. Again we know the statement is wrong because this should be Lehman discontinuity, ठीक है? So again any option that has third statement, we had already eliminated B and D. Now we are left with ये आपका C. So C again goes eliminated. You are left with A. So A is the correct answer for this question. Now let us move on to the 11th question.